Hey, my name is Simon Lacey, and today Danny and I will be teaching you how to play Forlorn. Forlorn is a survival team strategy game. Survival means characters permanently die when they're dead, and recovering health is basically non-existent. And as a team strategy game, you're using a small team of islanders to win a game objective, whether that be capture the flagon, regicide, or one of the other game modes. There are three basic pieces to Forlorn: the map, the area where the islanders interact, the islander tiles, where the islanders exist on the map, and the islander cards, the specific information about each islander. Clips are secured to the islander cards to indicate their level of health and brine. Currently, there are 31 different islanders in Forlorn, giving you the possibility of having over 4,000 different team combinations. To learn Forlorn, we're going to start out with how islanders function. This is an islander card, and it's got a picture of them, and then all of their basic stats. The first piece is their name, their title, and their islander tile emblem. So basically their name allows for reference, the title is a brief description of them, and then this is what Gavi's going to look like on the map. The next thing is their physical attributes. That's this column right here. On the physical attributes, the top number is actions. Every other physical attribute costs 1 action to perform. So Gavi, at the start of her turn, will have 3 actions, and then she can choose to use them however she wants. So the 3 other things in the physical attributes are an attack, movement, and a charge. An attack is just how much damage Gavi will do in melee combat. So if Gavi's tile is adjacent to another tile, she can do 3 damage with 1 action. The next piece is movement. Movement is how far Gavi can move with 1 action. So if she chooses to move for 1 action this turn, she can move 4 tile spaces. And last but not least is a charge, which is an attack and movement for 1 action. So Gavi can elect to trade in one of her actions in for a charge, and then she'll move 3 tiles and do 3 damage. The only specific rule about a charge is you have to end adjacent to your target. So basically you can run towards them, you can kind of run around them, but you can't run away from them. So to review, there's actions, which is how many actions she'll have each turn, and then she can spend them however she wants. So she could move twice and attack once. She could charge once, move once, and attack once. She could attack 3 times if she wanted to. She does not have to use all of her actions if she chooses not to, though. So let's do a little Q&A here. Gavi has 3 actions and 4 movement. What is the furthest distance Gavi can move in 1 turn? 12 tiles. 3 actions at 4 movement is 12. Alright, one more. Gavi is 3 tiles away from somebody. What is the most damage Gavi can do this turn just using her physical attributes? It's 9 damage. So she can charge 3 tiles and then do 2 attacks. So that would be 9 damage. Next we have the ability. Every islander has a special ability. At the top of it is going to be the name of the ability. So Gavi has Shank. Below that is a brief description of it. Gavi's Shank does 6 damage to an adjacent islander. Below that is a more detailed description, which says target an adjacent islander and deal 6 damage. So that's the over-encompassing ability that she has. If you ever have questions about specific abilities, if you go on the website, there is much more detail about specific situations. And if you find something that isn't listed on the website, please make a comment and it'll be updated. So that's how Shank works. Below Shank is the cost. So to do a Shank costs 1 action and 1 brine. So Gavi will spend one of her 3 actions to Shank someone, and then she'll also have to slide the brine marker down 1. And this brings us to our next piece, is brine. So brine is a currency just for abilities. Some characters don't use brine, and some characters have abilities that don't cost any actions and they're always in play. But for Gavi here, she's got 2 brine. so she can shank twice in a game. So you have to use brine carefully. There is a way to recover small amounts of brine, and I'll cover that in the map section next. Alright, last piece about an islander is their health. So they have a large health bar at the bottom. Gavi, you can see here, has 12 health. As she loses health, this marker is going to slide down slowly. Once Gavi hits this -1 action marker or below, she has one less action each turn. Basically, they're injured and they can do less at that point. So up here, we have Tarlin. He's another islander in the game, and he builds these little walls that act like obstructions. Tarlin, however, has 1 armor. Only a few characters in the game have armor, and they help protect them. So what an armor does is it reduces a certain amount of damage from each attack. So let's do a little Q&A here to solidify it. So Gavi has 3 actions and does 3 damage. If she were to attack Tarlin 3 times, how much damage would it do with 1 armor? The answer is 6 damage. Each time Gavi would attack, the 1 armor would subtract each damage by 1, doing 2, 4, 6 damage. So you can see armor gets pretty beneficial. The highest armor in the game right now is 2. So that's how armor works. So to recap, we have the name, the title, the tile emblem, the physical attributes, which is like a character's bread and butter. We have their ability, which really defines them apart. And then we have their health and armor. Alright, so let's do a little Q&A here. Here we have Gavi and Flint. It's Gavi's turn. And so she has 3 actions, 3 damage attack, and a 3/3 charge. How much damage can Gavi inflict upon Flint this turn? 9 damage. So she can use one of her actions to charge for 3 tiles, doing 3 damage, and then she can attack him twice. What is the maximum distance Gavi can run this turn? 12 tiles. She can move 4 tiles 3 times. It's Gavi's turn. She has 3 actions, and she's going to attack Tarlin 3 times for those actions. Tarlin, however, has 1 armor, which subtracts 1 damage from every attack. How much damage is Gavi going to do to Tarlin this turn? 6 damage. So basically what's going to happen is she's going to attack for 3 times, and each attack for the 3 will be subtracted by 1. So he will lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he'll be more damaged at that point. Alright, so next we got the map. There's 4 different types of terrain on the map. There's dirt, there's water, there's gravel, and there's rocks. Alright, first type of terrain is dirt. Dirt is considered open terrain. This means that a character moves freely through it, and you can see across it, and range is not diminished. So, just to give you a quick example, Gavi, let's say she turns one of her actions into a movement, so she can move 4 tiles. She'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so next type of terrain is water. Water is also considered open terrain. You can move freely across it, and you can see across it, and range isn't impeded. So this whole area over here, you can see from there to there, and run freely across it. So Gavi could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if she so desired. Alright, so next type of terrain is water. Water is also considered open terrain, as in you can see across it, you can move freely across it, and range isn't impeded at all. So Gavi, for instance, can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if she desired. Water has one specific rule that can be a game changer. Let's say last turn Gavi ran into the water, and now she's starting her new turn. Gavi can elect to trade her whole turn in to gain 1 brine. So Gavi will do nothing this turn and get a brine back. This can be a game changer sometimes, but do it wisely. Alright, third type of terrain is gravel. Gravel is considered obstructed terrain. What this means is that it takes 2 movement to move onto a tile space of gravel. Also, with ranged weapons that are using line of sight, it's 2 range for each gravel tile space. So basically they can sort of see through it, but their range is diminished. So let me give you an example here with movement. So Gavi, again, she's got 4 tiles of movement for each action. So she's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she can use another action to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see that gravel takes 2 movements to move onto a tile space of gravel. Alright, fourth and final type of terrain is rocks. Rocks is considered impassable terrain. So you can't see through rocks and you can't move over them. So Gavi, in order to get over here, will have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have to move over there. Alright, so let's start out with scenario 1. This one's a bit of a trick question. So we got Flint over here with a 6 tile range. So he can shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he could shoot to this square over here. He's trying to hit Gavi, however, though. And remember, Gavi is on obstructed terrain. How much closer does Flint have to move to be able to hit Gavi? Would he move here or here? The answer is right there. If he's there, he can shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then hit Gavi. If he was here, he would be out of range of hitting her. So we got Gavi here with 3 actions, 4 tile movement, 3 charge, and she's got her like 6 damage shank over here that she can do. So how much damage can Gavi do to Flint this turn? Well, let's find out. So Gavi's going to try and get to Flint as close as she can. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then for her second action, she can do a charge, which would be 1, 2, 3, hitting him for 3 damage. She's used 2 of her actions at this point. She can shank for her last action and deal 6 more damage, dealing a total of 9 damage to Flint this turn. Alright, so we know how islanders work, and we know how they can interact on the map. So we're just about ready to start playing here. So first off, we're gonna pick a game mode. Alright, there's 4 standard game modes right now. One of them is capture the flagon. On the website, there's maps and diagrams on how to set up the map. You can see there's these little dots that are on the map, and they're for guides. So they help you know where to put things when you're setting up game modes. So in capture the flagon, the objective is to steal an opponent's flagon, these little mugs, and then bring it back to your base. The first team to steal a flagon and bring it back wins the game. The next game mode we're going to go over briefly here is King of the Hill. If you may or may not have noticed, we switched to the 3-player map just so you can get a quick view of that. But King of the Hill, the game mode is basically there's a center tile in each map, and the objective of the game is to hold the center tile with 1 islander for 2 consecutive turns. The first team to do that has won the game. Alright, the third game mode we're going to go over is Regicide. And now in Regicide, there's these special captain characters. There's 4 of them, and they all have the same physical attributes, and all have the same health. And then each one of them has an ability that either gives an action, a brine, a health, or does damage. So they look like the anchors around the map. The objective of Regicide is to have the team with the last captain in it. So you're trying to kill the opponent's captains while protecting your own. When your captain dies, you're not out of the game, however, you can still keep playing. And then once there's only 1 captain left, the game is over, and that captain has won. Alright, so the last game mode we're going to go over is Last Man Standing. Last Man Standing is the only game mode that supports more than 4 players, and you can play with up to 8 people on this game mode. Basically, you can start anywhere you want. You just have to choose a starting location that's more than 6 tiles away from someone else and out of line of sight. This way no one can just pop some shots off right at the beginning of their turn. Basically what you're doing is you're trying to be the last team alive while killing everyone else. Okay, so once you have a game mode chosen, What you're gonna then do is choose a first player. If you can't think of one, choose the oldest player. That way the more experienced players can show how to engage. After that, the first player is gonna pick a start location typically, if it's one of the game modes that's not last man standing. And then just play clockwise from there and let each clockwise player get the next clockwise location. So, for drawing islanders, there's two different ways to do it. There's random, which is where you just dish out random cards to each team. You can see I've made a little note on the back of that one. And then they pick their team, they look at what they got, and they can choose to re-pick one of them. So let's say I don't want Kim, I put her back at the bottom, and then I got Gonzo. So that's how you do random. You have the option to re-pick one of the islanders for free. Apart from random, the next way to draw characters is draft mode. So how you do draft mode is each player will ban a character. So you can look through the whole deck that you got here, and then you can pick whichever character that you don't want anyone to play with and set them aside. And then after that, work again in a clockwise formation and let each person draft whomever they want. So those are the two ways to start a game. The last thing to keep in mind is that there's a victory point system involved with Forlorn. So what that means is that winning a game objective, like let's say we kill a captain, we're the last captain alive and we've won regicide and that game's over, winning that game objective is worth 5 victory points. Killing each islander that's not a sailor is worth 2 points. Killing a sailor is worth 1 point. And getting first blood is worth 1 extra point. So as you get kills, save your tiles. And basically the point of this is if somebody isn't engaging in combat and they win the game objective, they don't necessarily win the game if they've just been sitting in the background the whole time. So you have to fight and you have to kill to get victory points basically, and then you can win the game modes.